I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning or Wednesday night if you're hanging out with us. I hope you all had a lovely night. I don't even think I placed any bets tonight. No, I don't. Did I? No, I don't think even. The one I was, you know what? The one I was going to place was Boston College, and they +8 lost in overtime. They lost by 9 in overtime, so I'm actually glad I didn't place that. But yeah, how was your guys' weekend? Everything going well over there?
Well enough. I mean, the battle's real. I went 15-12 plus 1.38 units. Troy 18-16 plus 0.47 units. I mean, the black is the black, but
yeah,
the roller coaster ride did not feel that way.
Man,
the Browns, man, our pick on the Browns was the one that just was gut wrenching for me. I just couldn't stand watching that football game.
The Browns, which
I lost to the Niners.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I lost on that same one. I couldn't think of it for a second. Yeah, I mean, any weekend where it's Thanksgiving, you spend 4 days gambling or watching football, and then you finish with more money in your account than you started. You got to chalk it off to a successful weekend, even if you don't even win a lot. But yeah, it was a good one. We got 6 games, and this is the way we're doing it this time. Instead of these guys picking the games, we each pick 2. So we each have 2 games in the rotation here, and we're starting off with Thursday night. I'm sure a lot of you have already watched the video I uploaded, so you guys know what I'm on. But Jim actually picked this game, so I actually think we're on the same side here. I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, and I think we're in agreement.
If you talk to anybody, any rec gambler, anybody who doesn't gamble is just in football pools, they'll all tell you how badly the Cowboys are going to beat the Lions here. One of the most important things that we talked about on Tuesday was, when is the last time the Dallas Cowboys had a real road game? And you've got to go all the way back to Denver, because the Vegas game doesn't count. You have to go back to Denver, where they were down 27-10 at the half, 14-3 after the first quarter, and Prescott threw for 188 yards. Look, we've all seen the Cowboys fortify their defense. We've all watched them beat the defending champion Eagles and then the Chiefs right after. Everybody and their mama telling you that the Cowboys are going to take care of business. The Lions have been home now for 3 games in a row. The whole season's on the line. Now, you can say the same thing about the Cowboys, that the whole season's on the line. But this is, to me, buy low on the Detroit Lions. Sell the Cowboys high 101. I love the Lions spot. Now, the last few weeks, and Troy had, I think, 37 open bets last week. I had 27 last week. I've had 25 plus last 3 weeks. This week is pretty difficult. I have 6
last week was like 2 weeks in one, because you had the Thursday games, then you had the Sunday games. So, things got a little out of hand.
They did, but this week I found quite difficult. 6 bets, and 2 of them were look-aheads from last week. So really 4 bets from this week coming out. But the Thursday nighter and the Monday nighter I love very much. I love the Lions here. I love going up against the public. I like, too, that it didn't drop to 2.5. Troy and I were talking about, is it going to go drop to a 2.5? We'll pounce on the 2.5. I really like the Lions tomorrow night. And I'm wondering, I've looked at the double result. I've looked at adding, trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. I imagine I could just do a live on our live stream, but I am on the Detroit Lions tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. In the video, I said Lions in under 54.5. I'll put Lions up. So to take it a step further, you said the Cowboys haven't played a true road game since Denver. Let me ask you, when's the last time the Dak Prescott had a good road win? You got to go searching.
Watching your video, I was like, let's go back farther. That's what I meant to do before it came on.
So
back to go.
I mean, the Steelers with Justin Fields, are we giving them that one? The Giants, no. Maybe Cleveland in week 1 last year with Deshaun Watson. That was If we're not giving him that one, then it's been more than 2 years since Dak Prescott has a quality road win. I don't know the last time Dak Prescott beat a winning team on the road. It's been a long time, and I'm not even trolling. But yeah, what I was looking at it. Well, actually, you guys already heard me talk about it. So Troy, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'll be pretty quick because really, I mean, I don't have to look much further than the market environment itself to know that I was betting on this Lions side. I made a post and I was kind of teasing the fact that the bookies are so nice to be selling this Cowboys team +3 because honestly, I don't build bottoms up anymore. But if I did, I'm certain my number would be below this number 3. And this is a price range that I've dominated between 2.5 and 3.5. I feel like it makes the matchup easier to integrate into the market. And one of my biggest recommendations, just thinking about this game in this market, is like find your niche, find something you're really good at, a spread range, a price range, a sport, and dive into it, man. Because the edges that you could exploit betting against the books are few and far between. So if you feel like you have an edge in a certain market type, then hammer it. And I'll just bring up one profile because it's overwhelming. Home favorites on prime time when the road team is getting 60% or more of the bets are 17-9, 65% since 2022. 2022. This is my data too. This is data that I hand collect and hand enter so I could actually get the feel for the game as I'm entering it in the market itself. If that game is non-divisional, 12-4 ATS 75%. If the total is greater than 44, 9-1 ATS 90%. The entire sample, Kyle, to your lean to the under supports a bet on the under. And why I love the sample, I think it's extremely applicable because the average line is 3, the average week is 11, and the average total is 48, which is a high total. And honestly, if you look into the sample itself, you'll see that the Lions are in this sample. They beat the Bucs this season 24-9 at home. The Lions are 4-0 ATS at home, and the public is fading them since 2022 in primetime games. And there's aspects of the matchup that I do like. Kyle, you kind of touched on most of the stuff. I expect the Lions to be able to run the football. The 2 edge rushers for Detroit don't defend the run, and they're not good. It's like they don't want to defend the run. That's why they're not good at it. And if Penei Sewell's in, I expect them to just be able to piggyback right behind him. The Chiefs ran the football for over 5 yards per carry against this team, and that's we're talking about the difference between a Lions rushing attack and a Chiefs rushing attack. We watched the Lions operate without a hitch. When St. Brown went down, the offense actually picked it up. They didn't record any first downs until St. Brown went down. I feel like Jameson Williams is going to be his time to shine. I mean, this is his moment if St. Brown is out. I think he has potential to be elite. And, I mean, the Cowboys defense hasn't proven the value that people are attributing to this defense. We knew it would be better, but is it good? And, Kyle, you made the same point. I think that's a very serious question. The other thing is the Cowboys offense, like, I get it. They're legit. They're going to be able to put points up on the board. But Terrion Arnold is out of the lineup. I feel like that's a net positive for Detroit. I backed the same defense, the same starting secondary against the Bucs that same week where they won 24-9. I did it with confidence because Terrion Arnold, I feel like, is one of the worst DBs in the NFL from what I've seen. And just like that Lions-Bucs game as well, another correlated point to that game, Wirfs was out. Hutch lined up over this backup left tackle for the Bucs every single snap, every drop back, and he recorded 11 hurries. His biggest, basically the most pressure he was able to apply all season. The Cowboys offense is going to find success, but I think they're going to run into more stops in the Lions offense. I'm on the Lions. I bet them a few different ways, but you just put me up for -3.
All right. And someone was asking in the comments if I thought it would go to 2.5. I actually just saw the -105 disappear and turn into a -115. So it actually looks like it's starting to go back towards Detroit. Yeah, maybe I'll just add the Lions.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
I was waiting too. I thought when we talked on Tuesday, it looked like there was a chance we could see a 2.5. Woke up this morning and realized there was not a chance. I mean, I shouldn't say not a chance, but it just looked like it was moving back to the Lions.
Yeah, there was one -105 left for the Lions -3. It disappeared I saw it disappear about an hour ago. So, yeah, it's mostly, I think the best you're going to find right now is just the flat -110 for Lions -3.
Interesting thing about the Cowboys defense, as it's fortified in so many spots, and there's some talk about, the Cowboys defense, how strong the Cowboys defense has been, with the additions at the trade deadline. And one thing about the Cowboys defense, the red zone defense has been second worst all year long. Well, it's been second worst in the NFL over the last 3 games as well. That hasn't changed. They're allowing touchdowns 77.8% of the time the opposition's in the red zone, despite the fortifications. Nothing has changed. And we know this Lions red zone offense ranked 7th is dangerous. I think we're in business.
So, all right, we're all in agreement. Next game up, Washington, Minnesota. This is
I like your games, Kyle. I like the games you pick.
Over. Way over. Way over is a little bit of an exaggeration. I got 41.5. This should be 44, north of 44. So there's a lot of things in play here. So first of all, there's a perception that Washington's offense isn't good. And despite all the injuries and everything they've went through, they're still a borderline top 10 offense this year in terms of efficiency. They're 8th in success rate, 11th in PPA per play. And if you take a look at Washington's games this year, we've seen so many shootouts. I mean, this team is just always in shootouts. 53 against the Broncos, 66 against the Lions, 52 against the Seahawks. The low-scoring game against Kansas City, no one played for Washington in that one. Remember when we took Kansas City and we were like, well, there's no one playing for Washington. Everyone was out. 66 against the Cowboys, 49 against the Bears. The Washington offense has been moving the ball. And so obviously we don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play. That's still up in the air. I'm hoping he doesn't, because I love this matchup for Marcus Mariota. There's one thing Mariota gives me. He can pick apart the blitz. It was part of the reason I was so big on Washington last week to cover against Denver. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. It goes Drake May, Matt Stafford, Marcus Mariota. He's third in pass rating against the blitz. One thing he can do is make a quick read and get the ball out. And we saw it last week against Denver. That's why I took Washington. I was like, guys, he knows how to beat the blitz. That's what Brian Flores does, is blitzes. And now we're going indoors too. I don't know how I got a 41.5 here in this building. I mean, the totals we've seen here, 48 against the Bears, 49 against the Ravens. We saw a total here in this building, 43.5 against the Eagles, the slowest paced team in the NFL that does nothing but run the ball. And that had a higher total than the Washington over Commanders this year, who are one of the fastest paced teams in the NFL, who actually been throwing the ball a lot more than we thought they would. Yeah, Washington's been a straight over team. Even the one game that jumps out, and I remember this game specifically because I had the under, it final score against Miami was 16-13. That couldn't be a more misleading final score. The Dolphins averaged 6.7 yards per play, and the Commanders averaged 6.2 yards per play. The success rates in those games were 59% and 56%. Those teams were moving the ball. So even that game should have been a shootout too. Indoors, I don't think a Washington total should be less than 45.5, 46. And look, I know Minnesota's offense looks terrible. This is just a complete opposite of what we just saw in the last two games. We just saw them outside in Lambeau. We just saw them outside in Seattle. Are you kidding me? Like, that's just nightmare spots. Now they're at home indoors against a Washington defense that's been consistently run on all year. They're allowing 5.3 yards per carry in their last 8 games. Minnesota's been running the ball. We didn't get to see it the last couple of games because they were down on the scoreboard, but they've been running the ball. Hopefully the offensive line is all back. It looks like Darisaw is going to be back. So I think Minnesota can run the ball. Not thrilled with the idea of J.J. McCarthy playing quarterback. It looks like he will be playing quarterback, but it doesn't get better than this. You're going to have run support. You're indoors against a Washington secondary that's been religiously getting hit with big plays, big plays all year. So at home, indoors with run support, with superstar receivers against a bad secondary, if you can't make throws in that spot. So I think everything's set for an over. Like I said, I think this total should be north of 44. I'd probably make this total like 45.5, 46, honestly. I think it's way too low, and I got 41.5. I would still bet it now at 42.5.
I like it. I think it's a very worthy possible addition to my card. I am on the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Psychologically, I love when a young quarterback who's playing poorly watches a quarterback play even worse than him. It's tough for young quarterbacks to see stellar play. It was not easy for J.J. McCarthy to watch Sam Darnold do everything right last year and have that hanging over him all year. Watching Brosmer be so bad and getting back under center against the Commanders' defense that is, ranked 32nd pass defense, 21st rush defense, 25th red zone defense, 24th third down defense. I think this is the perfect opportunity to buy Minnesota at the lowest bargain price that we'll ever see them and sell the Commanders high after that spectacular performance. I thought it was spectacular. I mean, we were on the Commanders. They played great against the Broncos. Sell the Commanders high, buy the Vikings low. and Troy was the one that got me there. Troy was the one, so Troy got a better line than me. I got in after our show. Troy got in before the show. Troy got the Vikings minus 126. I got him minus 129, and I think that the over makes a ton of sense.
You see, that's how I know we're doing the right thing, Jimmy, is because I was going to say the same thing, that Jimmy got me there to this bet. So just talking it out, I mean, we were both able to come to the conclusion that the Vikings must be betting this spot. I mean, we've seen the line flippening. I don't know how much equity I'm going to put into that because of the Jaden Daniels news, but it does create a bullish market history. But the more I sat with this game, the more I started to study the spot. I loved it. I mean, we just talked about one team that hasn't played a true road game in so long. What about the Commanders? What was their – I got a note on the Commanders that haven't played a road game. And basically, since October 27th, week 9, is that right?
Yeah.
Since week 9.
Yeah.
So week 8 was their last true road game. They played one game overseas, and they had 3 games at home. When you see a team that changes, I feel like this is going to be an entirely new environment, and we know that this Commanders team has not been impressive on the road this season. And on the vice versa, if you look at the Minnesota Vikings, their most recent games that they took losses in, Green Bay, like Kyle said, that was a really tough spot. That was the first time J.J. McCarthy played outdoors since he was in college. And that's why I was so heavy on the Packers. Like, I just got done fading this team. The Packers, the Bears, the Ravens, the Lions. I mean, these are quality football teams. And yet they were able to beat the Lions. They took losses. They performed much better than the final score shows in Baltimore. The same thing with Philadelphia. That game was extremely close. And that, like, looking at that sample right there, that sample of games from the Vikings, it lends credibility to Kyle's point on the over in the spot. Because that's one thing I did take into consideration was how good Mariota's been against the blitz. Now, a lot of what he's seen this past week was man blitz. He's going to see a lot of cover 4 palms blitzes this week. And so we'll see how he adapts to that. But he has been better historically versus zone than man. But I do think that Flores is still going to give him some problems. I think they're going to be able to create some turnovers. And I like the fact that the line flipped. And I love the spot for the Vikings. And I bet the money line.
84% of the tickets right now in Washington.
Really? Yeah, I agree. I'm Minnesota. In fact, my first thought when I started looking at this game was, we're buying low on Minnesota's offense after those last 2 games. And then through looking at it, I decided to buy low. Wouldn't really buy low on Washington's offense. But through looking at it, I arrived on the over. But I agree, as a side, it would be Minnesota for me as well. I think the Vikings are going to average north of 5 yards per carry in the game.
And part of the horrific loss, obviously was Brosmer. But Ryan Kelly left with the hip flexor. And, you lose the center that you trust the most. He's going to be back here as well. Blake Brandel was left the game in concussion protocol, so you didn't have Ryan Kelly or Blake Brandel on the offensive line. He's symptom-free. He's all good to go.
What about Jackson? Is Jackson still up in the air?
At this point,
when I read it, my takeaway from the article I read was, okay, it looks like everyone's going to play. Jackson's the only one with a chance of sitting. That was my takeaway.
I think we're going to have... and Troy, what do you think of this over? I think it still works at this number. I don't think it's below and past us.
If you look at the totals we've seen in Vikings home games, like we were at 48 against the Bears, a team that runs the ball. How is it 41.5 against a Commanders team that's playing in 60-point games? It's just a super low total for an indoor building, for an indoor game to begin with, let alone a Commanders team that's one of the fastest paced teams in the NFL. Yeah, I just, when I saw 41.5, I was like, what the hell in this building with Washington? So, yeah.
There are a few price ranges where I do like to bet overs, and this is one of them, between 41.5 and 43. And then between 44.5 and 46.5, those games tend to go over at a high clip. And it's hard to, but I just don't want to bet on the Commanders at all in this game because of the fact that they're going on the road in a hostile environment for the first time in so long that I don't know. It is an interesting take on the over.
Now we get to Troy's first game, and he didn't look thrilled he didn't sound thrilled in the text. I believe his exact text was Seattle, Atlanta, I guess.
We're doing Seattle, Atlanta first.
Oh wait, did I screw up?
No, that's right. That's right.
No, you got it right. I had it wrong. Oh wait, why not have this game?
This is one ballsy I don't mean to give you a hint of where he's going.
Yeah. Well, I might have a little bit of a bias towards this Falcons team, so just take that into account. But I think I can make a pretty compelling case for this Falcons team. Yeah, they find a way to lose against the Giants or against the Jets. They always seem to find a way to lose in some of these types of games. They outgained the Jets by 1.5 yards per play. They ran the ball for $167, 5.2 yards per play. They went a perfect 3 for 3 in the red zone. And this difference in EPA per play was about 40.40. That's massive. The noise cancel score is 34-18. When I see performances like this and the difference in the noise cancel scores, these teams bounce back at a high rate. I haven't quantified it, but I will be quantifying that in the offseason. Seahawks, again, they just continue to enjoy these cakewalk football games where the offense gifts them or the special teams gifts them a massive lead, and then they could just ride on their high horse for the rest of the game. They had a 40% success rate last week, minus 0.16 EPA per play. They only 3.5 yards per play as 11-point favorites, and that's credit to the Vikings defense. And obviously the gifts that I talk about, another one, they just kind of flung them the ball in the red zone. That was about to be a close game going into half, and suddenly it's a 10-point game, and it's just completely different. The team looks like a juggernaut, whether you're looking at their record or win margin, but I believe that they're vastly overperforming. I'm going to make a case for that here soon. And actually, some of the numbers, like Sam Darnold, like his recent struggles, after grading out as the best quarterback through 10 weeks, look at his numbers the past 3 weeks. And, look at his PFF grade. First 10 weeks, he's number 1. The last 3 weeks, number 35. His passer rating, first 10 weeks, 7th. Last 3 weeks, 31st. And his yards per attempt, he was number 1. Now he's like past 3 weeks, he's like 17th. He still had a few big plays in the Jigba. But I believe the Falcons with Diablo in the lineup, with D. Alford in the lineup, every time those two guys play, the efficiency for the defense is way different than when they're out of the lineup. I think it's mostly to do with Diablo. They've shown the ability to stop the run after getting hammered when these guys were out of the lineup. Carolina, 2.7 yards per carry. New Orleans, 2.8 yards per carry. And New York and the Jets, obviously, they held them to under 4 yards per carry. And those aren't great offenses. I'm not trying to make a case that those are the Seahawks. But they have enough to be able to stop the run, like especially that Carolina game. I remember betting Dowdle's under 88.5 because I've seen a very similar thing. Also, we just seen the Seahawks team have struggle against Flores and the Flores blitz. Who else blitzes and plays the same style of coverage that the Vikings do? It's the Atlanta Falcons. They're the second highest in blitz rate. They play the same types of zones. And you flip the ball.
25 sacks in their last 5 games, the Falcons.
25 sacks. And I know some of the competition hasn't been there like it will be, obviously, with the Seahawks. But this game also reminds me so much of what we just seen the Rams go on the road to Carolina and get beat outright and have the guts to pull the trigger after losing with Carolina in primetime the week before. And that's just psychology. You can learn so much from it. But Seahawks, the run defense is 4th in the NFL. Because the question to me is, will Atlanta be able to establish the run? And I look at what the Seahawks run defense has done more recently, and they struggled versus 12 personnel. I believe that's the truth. It was the truth at some point this season. They allowed 4.1 yards per carry to the Vikings, who has absolutely no threat of a passing game with Brosmer. 2.9 yards per carry against Tennessee, right? That's their best data point that I'm going to give you. Then they allowed 5.4 to the Rams, 5.6 to Arizona, 4.4 to Washington. If the Falcons could average 4.4 yards per carry, I believe this spread is too big. And what is the Seahawks record versus teams above 500? I think they have 1 win on the season. Are the Steelers, are they above 500 still? I don't know, but they were when they played them. So I guess we give them the Steelers too. Steelers and Jaguars are their 2 wins against teams above 500. And all we need is for Kirk Cousins to be average. Don't turn the ball over. He's been better recently. The numbers bear that to be true. Seahawks coming off 2 wins against incompetent football teams. The Falcons are coming off an embarrassing loss that they should have won. I believe Kirk Cousins and Raheem Morris are still playing for their futures in the NFL. They're not going to be giving up here. The history of this market is favorable for the home dog. The optics are perfect. I like the spot for the Falcons. You got it for 1 unit plus 7.5. But I've been considering adding more. I know Drake London being borderline in and out. I don't know what his case is going to be. But I still love fading the Seahawks, selling them extremely high in the market right now.
Well, I don't disagree. I won't be taking Atlanta, but I do agree with some of your concerns on the Seattle side. And, Yeah, I've been talking about that recently. Sam Darnold's got a clear weakness, man. He's out of nowhere. Second half of the season, he's really struggling handling pressure. If you just isolate it to the 4 games where they saw really good pass rushes, Steelers, Texans, Rams, Vikings, he's got a 69 passer rating in those 4 games. Yeah, I mean, he's coming off his worst game of the season against the Vikings. So that the Falcons is another team that fits the mold of someone that would give him problems. 25 sacks in their last 5 games. Sam Darnold's been sacked 3 or more times in his last 3 games. So I'm completely there as far as the Falcons defense can give Seattle problems. The run defense, like you said, has come around. Diablo's back and D. Alfred's back. I'm with all of that.
It's when you get to the Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, hell no. Yeah, I mean
pick up a couple first downs on the ground, Kyle.
I don't even know if they could do that, though, because, look, I'm not going to pretend that I sat there and watched these week in 10 and 11 games today and, like, rewatch the condensed version. But, yeah, they allowed 5.4 yards per carry to the Rams. The success rate is 32%, indicating that there was, like, a 3rd and 18, 14-yard draw, indicating that they were not running the ball successfully. And in the Cardinals game, 5.6 yards per carry, the success rate is 30%. And the EPA per rush indicates that they were not successfully running the ball.
The average for a run success rate is what? Run 40%, and the overall average is 45%?
It's 40% on – no, it's – it depends on which website, but it's 50% on first down. So you've got 5 yards on first down. You need 60% of the yards to gain on second down, 100% on third and fourth down. So what you'll see a lot of times is 3rd and 18, a team runs a draw and gets 15. And like you'll be like, 6 yards per carry, but that's not a successful play.
That's why you want to isolate first and second down, really.
Well, yeah, it's not a perfect metric. There is no perfect metric, but it's usually a pretty good indicator. And also sometimes like you can have a 79-yard touchdown run that just messes everything up. So the success rate numbers indicate they were not running the ball in that game. I don't know what the hell Atlanta's going to do offensively in this one. I mean, I guess you could say Kirk Cousins' best splits are against zone coverage, against 2 high safeties, which is what Seattle does. But, I mean, Kirk Cousins is also his best split in terms of pressure has been against the blitz. Seattle doesn't need the blitz. They can generate pressure with just their front 4.
Yeah, they don't blitz either.
Yeah, I'll put under up. This is an ugly one. I'm down with saying I wouldn't lay it with Seattle. Like, I'll give you that. But I'm not taking the Falcons. I'll put under up, but I'm also worried. The reason I wouldn't bet the under is with the Falcons running all those single high safety looks. There will be big play opportunities indoors here. I wouldn't be surprised if Darnold snaps back in the dome. So under or pass for me. Jim, any thoughts?
Well, I respect the angle on the Falcons very much, and we have the proof in the marketplace. If you look at Circa, they opened this up at 7.5. It quickly moved to 9. The Seahawks were -9 a little after midnight, Sunday night, Monday morning. Now they're a 7. They're a 7. If you want Seattle right now -7, you get that at plus money. I mean, I think that's a big message from the books. I mean, Circa is 65% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on Seattle. We know Seattle is going to be very public here. At this point, we see 65% of the tickets, 67% of cash. So, the books are telling us. Now, for me, as someone who has heavy Rams futures from before the season started, I want to see Julian Love back. I want to see Jaron Reed back at defensive tackle. We're expecting both of them to be back for Seattle. I want to get an idea of who Seattle is. If we look at these games that they played, they were shut down by the Rams, and the Texans gave them enormous trouble. I mean, obviously we don't put the Falcons defense into that, but their offense doesn't seem to be moving in the right direction. We have Cappers in the chat talking about how Shaheed has not brought much to this offense at this point. We're coming off a game where Jackson Smith and the Jigba didn't have to do anything. He didn't do anything. But I'm very interested. I mean, we know what the Seahawks have done on the road. We know what they've done under McDonald at 1 p.m. Eastern in the Eastern time zone. They've handled those things with aplomb. I don't doubt that will happen here. But clearly, the market is telling us that the Falcons will be within 7. I just don't know if I have the balls to press the button on Kirk Cousins. And it's clearly a bias. I mean, you broke down what the Titans did to Seattle. You take away that DK punt return, there's 17 points, and you could say that 10 of them were in garbage time. They shut out the Vikings. They hold the Rams to 21. The Cardinals got 22 in garbage time. They hold the Commanders to 14. Hold the Jags to 12. This is a very good defense, and I can see the under. The market is pushing it towards the over. If this hits 6.5, I think you probably got to move on the Falcons. I think the books are talking. It's a sharp look. I respect the look. I just don't know if I have the balls to press the button.
I can say with certainty I definitely don't have the balls to press the button here on the Falcons. Oh, man, I think it's going to be an ugly one for Cousins. But I really do think the Falcons, the way their defense is playing, I think they can give Cousins problems. So
I wonder what you're going to have to say about the next one we have up here.
Colts Jags. Oh, I have a bet in this one.
So do I.
Oh, I know it's your game, right?
Yeah. So do I, man. So do I. I'm bet pretty heavily in this game, and I'm entrenched on the Indianapolis Colts. And last week I kind of took a bath with this team. I didn't when I seen it start. It was about to close at 3. I knew I was dead to rights, and I did get a little bit of a hedge down with the under, and I cashed that luckily. And I faded this Jaguars team. I came on the show talking about the Jaguars team total under 24.5. And they
had 25, right?
25. The extra point, the encroachment on the extra point. The roughing the passer on 3rd and 10 with 7 seconds left in the half. Roughing the kicker, then they drive for 7 points. And yeah, it was a tough loss. But the Jags were honestly clearly the right side. You were on the Jags last week, Kyle. I remember that. And it's just this is more of a fade of the Jaguars than a backing of the Colts, but I do have some good points for the Colts. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense. It's Trevor Lawrence who I want to isolate here. He's the worst in the league. I'm going to passer rating, 3rd worst in the league. Completion percentage, 3rd worst in the league. Turnover-worthy play rate, 3rd worst in the league. I always draw parallels between him and Geno Smith because if his first read isn't there, he's incapable of being productive. All of this with good play calling, a ton of weapons, and an offensive line that's way better than we thought. They're probably a top 12 unit in the league. The offense averaged a 37.5% success rate against the Titans, 38% against the Cardinals. But the Colts defense, I know they're no Sauce Gardner, no DeForest Buckner, but they're going to be able to produce better results than the Cardinals and the Titans. And the Jaguars defense, I feel like this is where it's like a massive amount of volatility, pretty much game to game. You never know what you're going to get. Great performance against a team like Seattle and the Chargers, who they hold to 6 points. Then terrible performances against the Cardinals, the Texans, the Chiefs, Bengals back in the early season when Browning was at quarterback. And I feel like the Colts, this is the contrast effect when they go from a defense that is the likes of the Houston Texans, that they were able to put up a 42% success rate against the Texans. Now they get the Jags defense, who play mostly cover 3 variations. Actually, they play a lot of 2-4-6 too. I guess they're mostly a 2 high safety type of team. And that's actually another point. 2 high safety schemes. Where does Daniel Jones thrive? Against 2 high. His passer rating increases by 18 points. His completion percentage up 10 points. His yards per attempt up 3 yards. His TD to interception ratio is off the charts. He's and people are overreacting to this Daniel Jones injury, in my opinion. I feel like he's injured, but it's not as bad as people perceive. He performed as good as any quarterback did all season against the Houston Texans. Passer rating was 101, yards per attempt 7.4, PFF grade is 74. Look at all the quarterbacks who've played this team, this Houston Texans defense. Nobody's putting up numbers like Daniel Jones. It's not like he put up a great game, but it was definitely better than most teams do against this defense. And I think it did have a lot to do with the 2 high. He was able to attack the middle of the field with some dig concepts. Stick dig, a lot of stick dig last week. I just feel like if the Titans and the Texans also can average 5 yards per carry against this team, this Jaguars team, the Colts should be able to match that production. So, I know this Colts team, they're not the team that they were 7-1. They're not the 7-1 team. They're not as bad as we've seen over the last 3 to 4 weeks. They're somewhere in the middle. And these short home dogs in division, when they open short home dogs, they've just performed awfully. I feel like it's a perfect time to sell high and buy low. So I'm on the Colts. Money line.
Well, I'm on under 48.5. Definitely. I would stay
I
with
love
it.
the under in the spot. I haven't moved on it yet, but I'm close, very close.
So I agree with a lot of your points. So I'm not on the Jags or anything. There are a couple things that concern me here for the Colts. I mean, the Jags defense, how good is this unit? Dude, they've allowed, in their last 3 games, they allowed 3 to the Titans, 6 to the Chargers, and then that Cardinals game, they allowed 24. They turned the ball over 4 times in that game. I think without the turnovers, they allowed like 10 points in that game. They've allowed the Jags defense in the last 3 football games. This is crazy. In the last 3 football games, the Jacksonville defense has allowed 640 yards. Actually, if you take out the overtime yards from the Cardinals, they've allowed 619 yards in their last 3 football games. That's 200 yards a game. This Jags defense, I think, might need a little bit of respect. Yeah, you do have to consider the opponents, and this is the Colts. It's a different atmosphere. You're not at all.
They've had good performances too, like the Seahawks. Like I've seen some quality performance and a quality scheme that was put together for the Seahawks game. Like I see what you're coming from.
I think this defense is really good.
Yeah,
I think the Jags defense is really good. They're one of the best run defenses in the NFL this year, which is certainly not what you want. Are you scared about the curse?
The curse where the Colts can't win in Jacksonville.
10 in a row. The Colts.
Insane.
The last time the Colts won a game in Jacksonville, Andrew Luck threw 4 touchdowns. Andrew freaking Luck threw 4 touchdowns. That's the last time the Colts beat the Jags here. I was more putting that up tongue in cheek. I don't really give a shit about the curse, but it's fun to talk about. I agree that I think Jacksonville's really going to struggle to move the ball. I think the Colts defense is coming around. I thought the Colts defense was cooked when Buckner went down. They were defending the run fine. In their last 2 games, they're only 3.4 yards per carry, success rate per rush at 36% against the Chiefs and the Texans. The Colts defense is kind of making me a believer. I know there's no Sauce Gardner, there's no Buckner, there's concerns, but they're playing well. And this Jags offense, I know that they have this elite-looking run game. If you look at their year-long numbers, you look at their last 4 games, they're not running the ball that well. Success rate per rush in the last 4 games is under 30%. They're not running the ball.
And that's why the under is so beautiful, because they're not running the ball highly effectively. Definitely not creating explosives anymore. And they're going to stick with the run because Trevor Lawrence is at quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with all that. I'm with the Colts defense making stops. I'm not 100% sold on the. What about the weather though? It's supposed to rain. Like I don't.
It's not supposed to rain at this point, but it's cold for Jacksonville. That's about it.
I'm looking at weather.com. Sunday in Jacksonville says 97% of chance of rain.
Wow, that's different from what I had.
Well, hold on. Let me check a different site. Maybe this. I'm looking at. I'm on weather.com. Wait, is this Jacksonville? What if I'm in the wrong city? Jacksonville, Florida. Moncrief Park, Jacksonville, Florida. That's what I'm looking at. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I bet place the under on 48.5 with the full mindset of I'm cool with that, whether it rains or not. The rain is just like a bonus. Like I'll love it if it's raining. But that was my mindset here is I'm cool whether it rains or not. Let me check it.
But you're absolutely right. The weather has changed from Tuesday.
It's supposed to rain, right?
At this point, I mean, we have full rain in the morning, and then we have showers, and then light rain by 4:30.
It's just going to be a run. It's just going to be a run.
Tell me that under 48.5. It's still going to 47.5. This is going to be like, how we see 50 points scored in this game? There's going to be rain. Neither team really trusts their quarterback right now. I don't care what Steichen says in the press conference. He doesn't trust Daniel Jones right now with an injury. Both teams think they can win this game playing defense and running the ball. This clock's never going to stop. It's going to be a sloppy run fest in the rain. At first I placed this bet. Like the more I talk about it, I might double down. I kind of really like this under.
I'm moving on the under right now because if you get any type of rain, I mean, this is just going to turn into a conservative run.
Yeah.
No explosives.
I'm on 48.5. I think it's still good at 47. I think it should be down to like 44.5 if it's going to be raining.
Why is it that high?
Well, like
when this line came out, the last 4 games, if you cut overtime, the Colts have not gotten over 47. The only time in the last 3 games the Jaguars have was that tie in Arizona with all of the turnovers and all of the craziness. Well, if this line had opened up lower, I would be more inclined to moving on it.
But here, the thing, we're looking at this closely. So we know the Jags are averaging over 30 points per game in their last 5. We know it's kind of bullshit. But like maybe an opener, like, wow, this team's averaging over 30 points a game. Like how, So we people who are following it really closely, but maybe a soft opener too high that the Jags are averaging a shitload of points recently. The recent games 25, 27, 35, 29, 30. Like they're putting up big numbers. And the Colts, the last 2 games against Houston and Kansas City, but they've been putting up big numbers all year. So I think the opener of 48, I think it's too high, hence I bet the under. But I think the opener, at least I can wrap my head around it opening there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me uncomfortable when the opening line came out. But there were certain I saw the 47.5 in Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and hammered it. That one I was like, well, this is ridiculous. But this one, I just couldn't understand why it was so high, and so that gave me cold feet. I mean, you don't hear one person in the chat saying this is an over. Every single person here is saying under. I just that stuff scares me when it's higher than where I would have put it. And you're right, if Jacksonville's dictating the total, but look at the points that have been scored in these Colts games, without overtime. I just
are you on the over?
Sorry,
you on the over?
No.
No, I thought you were about to say I'm taking the over.
No, I just don't like if this had opened up at 46.5 and it was a 44.5 right now, I'd move on the under. But the 48.5 is insane. And in a divisional game with this importance,
I could see it still keep coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if it closes down at 46.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps coming. We'll see though. You have you have anything in this game?
No, the Jaguars have cost me cash. With the bad beat we talked about. I mean, I cashed that full game under easily, but the first half under, I was about to cash until the unsportsmanlike penalty allowed the Jags to kick that field goal with no time left. And I bet it too early. I bet it as soon, like the other books weren't out when I bet that first half under 20.5. I could have easily got 21 later and had the push, but the Jags have just been costing me. I don't think they're that good of a football team. I don't think they're an 8-4 football team. And every time I act on that, they cost me. And so I get the Colts, and I certainly get the under. But I don't think I'm moving on this one.
I will be waiting. I'm going to be waiting to see if I can get a 48. Maybe at one of these public shops, eventually a 48 will pop back up, 48.5, and I could pounce on that. I'm trying to get that extra 6.5%, at least pushing on a 48. I'll push 6.5% of the time. So
yeah. I'll tell you, as of right now, I have just the under 48.5, but maybe I'll take more. We'll see. This next one, this is my game. Another under. I am on under 43.5, under 43, and under 42.5 here. Side note, if you're looking for an opportunity to buy low on the Saints, I think this might be your spot. I kind of think the Saints will cover. I didn't take New Orleans, but I was close and them still considering taking the Saints. The bet I placed is the under. We know you don't need me to tell you about how the Saints offense is bad. I'm sure if you all own a smartphone, you already know that the Saints offense is bad. They just played the Bucs defense back in week 8. They were held to 4.8 yards per play, 3 points they scored in the game. Tyler Shuck hasn't been quite as bad as maybe some of the final scores indicate, but he also has been great. We know Bowles is going to blitz the hell out of him, and maybe he's able to make some throws, but he's certainly not going to get the ball downfield if he's under pressure. So even if the Saints offense does have some success, I doubt we'll see the explosives. So I actually think that works in favor of an under, maybe some field position game here. Saints able to move the chains a little bit. Not 100% sure if Kamara is going to play in this one. But look, the Bucs are playing, what are they, 6-5, 7-6. They're right there with the Panthers. They need to win. The Bucs can't play around here. This is a team they hate at home. I expect that defense to be fired up. The Saints haven't scored 20 points in a football game since week 5. Week 5 is the last time the Saints scored 20, not 28, 20. They haven't even seen the 20s since week 5, and they've only seen the 20s twice all season. So I think the Saints offense is going to struggle. But on the other side of the ball, I mean, how deep in the season do we have to be before we finally come out and just say the Bucs offense isn't very good? Maybe when they get Evans back, which I believe is a slight possibility. I don't think it's going to happen this week, but apparently that is on the table. They're 25th in success rate. We're in week 14. It's not like we're in week 4. We're like, oh, it's going to come around. They're bottom 6, 7 offense in the NFL so far this year. The run game is coming around, so let's give them a little bit of credit. In the last 4 games, they're starting to run the ball a little bit. We're seeing Sean Tucker have some success. Obviously, Bucky Irving back on the field, even though he's questionable. So they're starting to run the ball a little bit. But that's the strength of the Saints team, is stopping the run. In this rivalry game, man, this is it for the Saints. They would just love to spoil the Bucs season. The team they hate, they would love it. They would love to come in here and spoil the Bucs season. I don't think the Bucs are going to be able to bully New Orleans' defensive front. That's the strength of the team. I think they're going to struggle to run the ball. And as far as Baker Mayfield, I mean, I don't know if he's not 100%, not taking shots on Baker at all. He's got a 75 pass rating in his last 6 games. 6. He's not playing well. Maybe he's not 100%. Maybe he doesn't have the receivers. Whatever it is, he's not playing well. And look, we all know the Saints is a team that struggles to generate pressure. They've been a little bit better recently. Not great, but whatever. We'll say the Saints are a team that doesn't generate pressure. What do? They blitz a lot. They're in the top 10 in blitz rate. Baker Mayfield, 73 passer rating against the blitz this year. Baker Mayfield struggling against the blitz. I think the Saints are able to take the run away from the Bucs. I think the Saints we're going to see some tricky blitz packages here. Baker Mayfield's not playing well. And look, we all know the Bucs won 23-3 in week 8. Bucs averaged 4.5 yards per play in that game. 4.5 yards per play, under a 36% success rate. And on top of all of that, more rain. It's raining in Tampa. So on top of all that, it's nasty weather. Hold on, let me confirm.
Because I have a different, and I've been keeping an eye on this one because this game interests me very much. And at this point, I've got 20% chance of precipitation just before kickoff. It gets up to 35, possible light rain.
What the hell? I've got 84% chance of rain and thunderstorms on weather.com. Let me check a different site. But I'm on weather.com. It's not like I'm on some rinky-dink site. What site I'm going to try AccuWeather.
I just moved over to AccuWeather to check it out here as well because that's my second hit. But
Jimmy's usually my weatherman.
I do the weather update 3 different times. So just so you know, as a base, on Tuesday morning for this one, I had mostly sunny 5-mile-per-hour winds. So clearly, you know, the weather's changing as it does.
Right.
So at the site that gave me that now says we have 20% precipitation at kickoff. At 3 p.m. Eastern, we have 25% precipitation. There's not 35% precipitation until 6 p.m. I have here.
Oh.
But
I'm pretty sure we all cashed the under on this game in the Week 8 matchup on the show.
No, you guys did. I didn't bet this game. I passed. I remember I actually was like, I think we're going to see pick sixes. But you guys did,
and we did see one that where
it was
his last play of his career.
Yeah, I said I was like, we're gonna see some craziness, and we did see craziness. It just didn't result in exactly. But yeah, I didn't bet the game.
Oh, we seen insanity. The goal line stands that the Saints had that game.
Yeah,
remember that they were just shutting them down at the 3-yard line. I think it was like 8 plays they ran inside the 5-yard line and couldn't score. Yeah, I do like the under in this game. I'm on the side. I'm on the Saints in this game.
I thought you were about to say the Bucs, dude.
No. I'm on the Saints. Since week 6, Baker Mayfield, I mean, his numbers have completely fallen off. I think he was dealing with a different injury, in the middle part of the season. And now I think this AC joint is going to keep bothering him as long as he keeps playing football. I know Toradol do a lot, take care of you, but he hasn't posted a PFF grade since week 6 above 70. Only one game with a passer rating over 95. His yards per attempt is dropping considerably. The noise canceled score last week was 20-20. Tampa Bay 41.5% success rate. Versus the Rams 27%. The Bills 48%, so a little bit above average there. And then the last time they played the Saints, 34% success rate. The Bucs defense so their offense is basically slowed down to a halt. Now they're going to be running the football into the teeth of the Saints defense, which is exactly what you want if you're backing the Saints or you're backing the under. The Bucs, and where the Bucs are super impressive is as that field shrinks, not even into the red zone, because the Bucs allow the second fewest opponents into the red zone. So as soon as that field starts to shrink, that zone blitz for bowls, especially 3rd down and 4th down spots, like that starts getting home a lot more. The coverage starts to play underneath coverages. And it's really hard to exploit. And they've been really good in that, like, between the opponent's 40 and their own 30, this defense really steps up. And so that makes me also want to look towards the under. And I don't want to look now. I don't want to look now and overstep my bounds. But Shuck looks like he could be an NFL quarterback. I mean, he's putting some pretty decent numbers together, especially with the Saints team. I mean, they do have a few weapons with Olave, Vele, Juwan Johnson. Hopefully they get the running back. The offensive line, I believe, is outperforming the expectations I personally had for them. Their pass blocking is graded out 18th. The left side of the line is pretty strong from the center to the tackle. I like the history of this market, especially in division, especially with this line movement that we're seeing towards the under, towards the Saints. To cover this number, the Bucs are going to have to be very efficient on the ground, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that. So, yeah, I'm on the and one of the Bucs won by margin. Two of the games this year.
All year, Troy, in the entire season, only twice have the Bucs won by more than 3 points. And when I say that, I think, well, why is this number? Why did it open up at a 9? Like, I understand that 23-3 victory, but I was when on Tuesday when Troy and I were breaking this game down, I was like, it's such a massive number. It's such a monster number. Who in their right mind would press the button on the Buccaneers?
A lot of people that on that teaser, they're hitting those teasers, those money line parlays. It's a bit of a sweetener here. No one likes the Saints team. No one's betting the Saints.
Well, we cashed with them last week. I mean, the number, it makes me uncomfortable. It's just too big. It's too big. It's opening up their arms to everybody to fade the Bucs, who've looked terrible. I mean, they've not looked good at all. Their offense looks bad. Now, when I capped this game, I didn't think that Evans was going to be back. I know that Evans and McMillan are back practicing, but I didn't think.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. It didn't sound like it.
Yeah. This is it would only be one-way traffic with both of the spots that you guys are on. This number being so massive, it just makes me uncomfortable. These are the types of spots that just really, really make me uncomfortable. It's way too big.
The Saints are 6-point dogs against the Dolphins, and they don't cover. No, they do cover. Sorry,
yeah, but they kind of shouldn't have. But yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of fun. That was a freaking weird game. That's why I couldn't get involved in it. But I mean, it opened at 6. It closed below the 6, but I mean, it was 6. The Dolphins to the Bucs, like, it makes sense to me. Over 7 for sure.
I mean, I don't know where.
Where's the resistance at between 7.5 and 9.5? There is not a lot there. Like the difference in win rate, expected win rate, is not that significant. The money line price is barely different. Sometimes you'll see a 7.5 with the money line bigger than teams that are priced 8.5.
Look, it's only one-way traffic. I mean, this is a Saints bet or nothing. That opening line was just too giant. The books are saying, hey, look at this incredible number we'll give you to fade this weak Buccaneers squad. It just made me uncomfortable. Now other cappers can look at it and say, look, this is a must bet. This is the right amount of points that we're getting. I just think they're offering it. It's just too easy.
Yeah, the Bucs are 5-0 in one-score games, or no, 5-0 in games scored decided by 3 points or less. So this might be a sell high on that team that isn't very good. Last game up, Monday Night Football. Jim, where are you going with this?
I expect Herbert to be in. I think everybody expects Herbert to be in. Herbert certainly does.
He's a dog. He's a junkyard dog. He wants to play football.
I think this is the best bet on the board. And I didn't realize it. I didn't think about it. Like, it took a while for me to get there. I certainly didn't think it when we started the cap on.
I wasn't there for this, Jimmy.
Every single person in our chat said the Eagles are broken. The Eagles are done. The Eagles are finished. The Eagles, everything, every single one after another. Eagles are finished. Eagles are every single one. I was like, really? You guys all think that they're done? What if because the Chargers come off their bye and beat the Raiders? I mean, this is the perfect opportunity to buy the Eagles low and to sell the Chargers high. Everybody seems to forget the debacle in Jacksonville when they started, used Penning on the offensive line. The offensive line is extremely weak. The Eagles are in a situation where they must win. They've been, given up on. I could not believe how many people were saying horrifying things about the Eagles. I didn't realize the public sentiment was so bullish on the Eagles being done and the Eagles having real problems. Now, look, this isn't a team that is going to go defend their Super Bowl championship. I get that. And I get, but A.J. Brown coming off a game where he caught 10 passes for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. They couldn't stop the run. And we know, despite the injuries to the offensive line for the Chargers and the injuries to the running back position, just, with Vidal alone, this is still the second-ranked rushing offense from Pro Football Focus. The idea that they're going to be incapable of stopping the run here again against the Chargers, I find hard to believe. But look, they just allowed 281 yards on the ground, and Ben Johnson, created the perfect football game to absolutely embarrass the Eagles. This to me is the Eagles lose to the Cowboys, then they lose to the Bears. Everybody's writing them off. And what did the Chargers just do? They beat the Raiders. I mean, 67% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the Chargers. I was like, okay, well, I was going to wait. I was going to wait until Herbert was, official confirmed in. And I was like, you know what? I'll bet it again. If this goes down, I'll bet it again. I got the 2.5 in my pocket. I think this is becoming the best bet on the entire board. The Eagles are going to go into SoFi Stadium and take care of business, come out with a victory. The longer I sit with this spot, the more I think it's the best bet on the board. Now, it also happens to be my pops, who a lot of you guys know is season ticket holder for the Chargers. This is his biggest bet of the year, fading the Chargers. He watches all these games live. He reviews them, and I didn't know that until yesterday. That's when he sent the cash to lock it in. So I didn't know that till late. I didn't know that till after our show. I didn't know that till. So I guess I didn't know that till like 1 a.m. I guess like 24 hours ago. So yeah, the Eagles. This is the Eagles. Eagles. When everybody wants to sell them, I will buy them.
But that's the thing is, though, in order to buy low on the Eagles, they got to be low. They're 3-point favorites on the road. This is like they're still priced as the best team in the NFL.
I think it's priced because the Chargers are a completely fraudulent football team based on the injuries that they've suffered on the offensive line, that they're not as good as their record indicates. I still think this is buying low. I mean, I understand that. I mean, do you think when Herbert is confirmed in, it goes down to 1.5?
I don't understand why they're favored like that. I don't even know what I think the Eagles are good at right now.
Playing defense? Well,
are they?
Not if Ben Johnson has anything to say about it.
The Cowboys had 500 yards on them the week before that. I don't even know one thing the Eagles are good at right now. They can't run the ball.
You think the Chargers are a better football team?
I'm not sure, but I certainly wouldn't have the Eagles laying a field goal on the road. That's like what the best team the Rams would be laying 3 here at the Chargers. The Chiefs would be laying 3 at the Chargers. This is like crazy. The Eagles are getting priced like they're still Super Bowl champions.
I wonder if the Rams would only. I think that could be a 3.5.
Oh, if it was 3.5 and he got pushed down to 3, I'd be a hammer on the Rams.
I would hammer the Rams.
I don't know what I expect the Eagles offense to do here. Since the Chargers defense has gotten healthy, they've been really strong, and the Eagles offense, they're averaging like 14 points per game in their last 4.
It was 6.2 yards per play last week. They just didn't get enough opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, they were running the ball last week. Well,
they had the ball for 20 minutes and 42 seconds.
True, yeah. That's definitely a good point. But the Bears, that was at home against the worst defense, like a bottom 5 defense. Chargers defense is excellent.
that Bears defense is getting healthier.
They weren't
I
last
mean,
week.
I struggle with this game. It's not. I don't want to
I'm
sound.
on the Chargers. I'm
Go
definitely not. This is one I bet on the look ahead, though. To be honest, I haven't really. I bet this one before last week, so I haven't really looked at it again. But yeah, I was on the Chargers. I saw the line. I was like, what? I think the Eagles, the way they're playing right now, are maybe like 4th or 5th best team in the NFC. I don't think the offense is good, and the defense is pretty good, and I think the defense can bounce back, but I also don't think it's as elite as they showed us in that little 3-game stretch either. I'm down with the Eagles dominating the line of scrimmage here defensively and the Chargers struggling to score. But I don't know what the Eagles are going to do offensively. Think they could struggle. I don't think Lane Johnson is coming back either. I know he's questionable. I know there's a chance, but apparently I read an article that said the Eagles kept him off the IR with hopes of getting him back for the Raiders game. So I don't even think that it was really in play. Now, maybe he's recovering faster and he can play, but without Lane Johnson at right tackle, that Chargers defense is really, really strong.
Do you have them as a top 10 defense?
Eagles?
No, Chargers.
Right now, healthy?
I don't.
Really?
No, not at all.
I don't know. I see. That's where I get lost. Okay. Well, I mean, let me just add. I want to add 2 things, and we could talk about the loss. But the first thing I think of, like when I go back and I watch, because I actually was pretty heavily invested on the Eagles last week, one of my bigger losses, and so I went back to review some of the tape, and I watched the sequencing from this offensive coordinator, Kevin Petullo, and it's just gross. It's grotesque play calling. How do you not watch all these other teams in the NFL? What do the best offenses do in the NFL? They use a ton of play action. They use a ton of motion, exit motion, every type of motion in the book, every single snap. What do we see from the Eagles offense? They don't run any motion. It's all stale, stagnant offense. There's just nothing there. There's no substance in the play calling. There's no formational sequencing where the formations are the same. They use the same motion and run different plays out of it. Nothing looks the same. It's actually it's pretty embarrassing that he's still calling plays. I think that's more so than anything else is what the problem is with this Eagles offense. And on the other side, it's like the Chargers. I don't know who they are by looking at their resume. That's for sure. I mean, who they played recently. I look at the teams: the Raiders, the Jags, the Steelers, the Titans, the Vikings, the Colts. Well, that's where I would. And the Colts, I think, was the last time their defense was actually injured. Then they got some guys' defensive pieces back against Minnesota. Then they've looked great over the past until they ran into Jacksonville. And that's another thing is like that game, that one sticks out in my head. And that was the one game where I was like, damn, Jacksonville might actually have something on offense. And then Trevor Lawrence went back to a pumpkin.
And who do the Chargers have on deck?
They got KC.
KC in Kansas City. What was the look ahead that you got, Kyle?
2.5. So you can get a better number. So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand this at all. I mean, where would I put this on a neutral? Probably put the Eagles about 1 point above the Chargers. They're the better team, 1.5 point. The Eagles laying 3 in LA means that this would be 5.5 on a neutral. That's freaking crazy. I don't know. I think the Eagles continue to get priced like the Super Bowl champions, and I just don't think they're very good right now. I think the defense is strong, but I also don't think it's as strong as they showed us in that little stretch either. It didn't look very impressive in their last 2 games. I don't know what I think the Eagles are very good at right now. They're an above-average defense and a below-average offense. I don't think they're very good, especially without Lane Johnson.
All of that is completely legit. Like I respect it, and it's all legit. I think that if you have a team that's the second-ranked rushing offense that sets up all of their offense by knowing that they have a strong run game, I think it helps that the Eagles just got gashed for 280 yards, that they just got slapped in the face by a team that's going to they know that the following week they're going to get the exact same shit. I think that helps. I think that helps a lot. I think it's a wake-up call for the defense. Like I think that everything. So now saying that it's a 5.5 or a 5 on a neutral. You're right. It shouldn't be. That's too many points. I agree. But the optics around these two teams, with the Eagles getting destroyed and having the ball for 20 minutes against the Bears at home in front of their own fans, and the Chargers beating the Raiders by 2.5, 3 scores. That's just, to me, wheelhouse type stuff. I want to attack those optics. I want to attack that. And we believe that Herbert's going to be fine with this plate and his non-throwing hand. It's no thing. But we need to see it. We need to see it. And this offensive line, as they had it formed, got absolutely destroyed against Jacksonville. And who cares what they did against the Raiders? Let's see what they do here against, an Eagles pass rush that's ranked 8th. They're going to have to, they're going to deal with an angry football team. And I like it.
There's a comment here. There's a pissed off Eagles fan commenting at me. Last question, Kyle. So the Eagles are losing 3 in a row with no real injuries. I'm pretty sure the same person commented this last week. So when I took the Bears, so the Eagles are going to lose 2 in a row with no real injuries. I'm on board with the Chargers offense struggling. It's probably my least confident bet. I just thought the number was off. But all right, where can they find your stuff, guys?
We every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Bankroll Blitz, and Troy is just 20.61 ROI, 195 and 122. So just delivering the goods. We're riding his coattails. I know you've been crushing it these last few weeks, Kyle. I love hanging around. The more winners you hang around, the more winners will be delivered. So keep up the great work, fellas.
Winners beget winners. You got to keep. That's why you got to be very sharp about who you keep in your circle, man.
I'm waiting for a bad. I still can't. It's gonna happen eventually. My ROI just creeped up over 15% for the year, which is my goal is 3%, dude.
Right. This
is freaking crazy.
Well, I set my goal high at 4%. I meant, 3%.
It's just it's like this can't last, and there's always new people joining when you're hot. And they're like, where do I see the picks? And I almost need to send them a disclaimer, dude, just so you know, I know you're new. It's not always I don't always go 23-4. That doesn't happen. This is crazy.
I love it. My ROI is 8.31%.
That's amazing.
I'd be a monster if I wasn't around enormous monsters, which I love, though. I love it.
Yeah, still plenty of time for mine to come crashing back down. Still plenty of weeks left. But all right, let's talk some college basketball.
Later, Kyle.
Yep. Have a good night, guys. It's called Pub Sports Radio. Type it into your search tabs on YouTube. Their episode was last night. All right, Toast. Oh, whoops. Let me get myself back on the screen. All right. I did, but I don't think he's coming. What is he? I did send him one, yeah. All right, let me. TV Jones is ready. Let me. Here he is. TV Jones is here. Was a surprise guest appearance. Let's switch back over to 3 people. I did not think TV Jones was going to make it. Well, we only got 3 games, TV Jones, so you can get some sleep soon. And I just realized they can only hear me, so they can't hear you guys talking to me. All right, first Toast, TV Jones. Yeah, TV Jones, I can't believe you had the audacity to celebrate your LSU win.
I didn't even know he posted that, and then I said that and came back 3 minutes later. I was like, "Oh, that was probably pretty bad."
No, it was actually funny. I was glad you did, but it was
that was ridiculous.
It was such perfect timing.
I had no business.
Toast is like, I can't believe I'm going to lose Boston College in overtime, and then 5 seconds later, TV Jones hops into the chat. LSU bitch.
I had literally woke up with 2 seconds left in regulation. I fell asleep tonight, and that's what I woke up to, just watching the overtime.
You know what's sad about that? Is that I would have swept the board today if Boston College covered. I would have went.
Auburn covered?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Welcome
yeah,
to the
That was
jungle,
a
baby.
guys good Arkansas pick, by the way. I should have tailed that.
that shit should have been a nuke. Them and Virginia. That's my biggest regret. of the
Did
day.
Honestly,
Virginia went over the total?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I think Texas messed that up. They did. They had
Nope,
like 39
nope, that was
points
an
through
easy
like
over.
30 minutes. It did
Easy
go
over.
over. Okay.
88-69, easy over 149.
I have UCLA -2.5, and it's currently a 14-2 run for Washington. With a
You have a
minus
-2.5?
Yeah, I woke up and I was like 9:56. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna.
Well,
be
I
up. I'll
hope
just bet
Washington
this
doesn't
game.
win, but I have +1.5. But
I
anyway.
told Huff and Elliot, I was like, now that I bet it last second, it's gonna be a 1.2 point UCLA win.
All right, this will be a quick one. We only got 3. Tomorrow's a small slate, I'm assuming.
very small.
Okay.
It's like 10 games, 9 games.
So we got 3 queued up, and the first one is Utah State, South Florida. I'm pretty sure this is Toast game, right?
No, it's TV Jones, but I do have some thoughts on it. I'm just very curious to see if his matches mine. I really want to be on Utah State, but TV Jones, you did click this game. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got South Florida money line here +110. You look at South Florida; they're 4-4, but their losses are to the future A10 champs, George Washington. They lost to Oklahoma State, VCU, and Colorado State. They've lost 3 of their last 4. 2 of those were on a neutral though, and then they lost at Oklahoma State by 8. The offense isn't really an issue here. The defense is a little suspect, but they've played a really tough schedule. You go to Utah State, they played VCU on a neutral, won by 3. Other than that, their toughest opponent, Davidson, Montana State, maybe. They just beat Montana State, by 3 in overtime on Saturday. First true road game, they're traveling halfway across the country, or actually completely across the country, basically, to play this one. I like South Florida at home. I think this is a tough spot for Utah State, having not hit the road yet. Now you got to go all the way to Florida. South Florida has played a bunch of good opponents this year and come up a little short in a couple of them. Now I think they get a nice shot at Utah State at home. So I don't need the points. I just took the +110.
I agree. South Florida, their football team is sad that they're not in the conference championship that's about to happen on Friday night. They're all going out to basketball. It's basketball season now in Tampa.
Hard disagree. I have not bet this yet because I think Utah State opened at 2.5. It's down to 1.5 now. I will give you that. A couple of things that I agree with Trevor is that Utah State hasn't really played anybody at all, especially compared to the South Florida schedule. And this is their first true road game. But like we talked about before, if Providence isn't traveling across the country to Utah, this isn't across the country for Utah State. So just a little bit of a smaller travel, if I do say so myself. But first and foremost, I just think that Utah State's a significantly better basketball team. They have everything that you want to look for. They're one of the most experienced teams in the country. They have decent size. They had a whole bunch of guys coming back. And I'm not trying to make a case that South Florida is a terrible basketball team, because I do think they're better than what their 4-4 record shows because of the schedule that they've played, and they've played games on the road in a whole bunch of neutrals. But at the same time, they didn't have it's like a whole brand new roster. They're not very deep. And this Utah State team is one of the deeper teams in the country as well. I think Utah State is a significantly better basketball team. And for whatever it is, Jared Calhoun has this team absolutely rolling. I don't know what is in the water in Logan, Utah right now, but over the last 4 or 5 years, it doesn't matter if it's Odom or Sprinkle or now Calhoun. I mean, this Utah State team has just continued to roll. So I give you that the spot isn't great traveling to Florida, but at the same time, I just think they're a significantly better basketball team.
It's a bad pick.
Yeah.
You see, I'm sure I saw Trevor's face. He saw the Washington 3 at the same time I did.
Yes.
I saw the 3.
17-2.
I saw the 3 while you were talking, and I went and looked at the screen and saw Trevor's face at the same time do this.
Like, what were you, 20? Now it's a 1-point game in 4.
They have the ball, though. They have the ball.
I don't care. They just They wanted to get out of this game. They came out of a timeout and dribbled it until there was 2 seconds on the shot clock and got a terrible
That's
shot.
Nick
Like, what are
Cronin at
we
his
doing?
finest.
They just got fouled, though, right? Because it's now a juice 2.5. I'm watching it on an odd screen. I'm not watching the game.
Potentially. 37 seconds left. They're probably going to play this possession out. So need a bucket.
They're going to foul.
So it's crazy, like when you've been doing this and look at this shit as frequently as we do, where like you can almost tell what happened in the game by the odds screen. Like it just went up. It's like, oh, they're shooting free throws. They didn't score yet, but they're shooting free throws.
If it blinks green, that's probably good. If it's yellow or anything, you're like,
it went. They're up one. It went from a -2.5 plus 100 to a -2.5 minus 140. So they didn't score, but they're shooting free throws. That's what that means.
Beautiful.
Bob Morris against Green Bay. Trevor, big Green Bay guy, active Green Bay hater, doesn't like the coach, but is starting to come around on the coach.
Coming around on the coach is a bit strong. Coming around on the
three-game winning streak? Come on, Trevor.
The team I'm coming around on, it's still Doug Gottlieb.
You can't blame the coach when it goes wrong and then not give the coach credit when it goes right. That's not fair.
Oh, yes, I can. It's my fantasy land. I'm going to do whatever I want in this world. No, I mean, props to Green Bay. They're at home. This is actually on the campus. First D1 home game. Oh, my God.
Please. Oh, we just lost connection for a second, but we're back.
Oh. Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, well, Green Bay, tough schedule for their standards. Their last games after the St. Thomas game, overtime to Minnesota, Yale, UMass, Iona, all tough games, won 2 of them. Now you're back home. Bob Morris has never really been competitive in this conference. Last year was their year. They maximized it and won the conference and went dancing. Now you lost all the key players on that team. They're gone. So Green Bay at home, starting to play good basketball. People still want to keep fading this team, which I get. I've been the conductor of that train, of this Green Bay hate train, and I halted and got off the train. Shout out them for that UMass win. And I think they get this done. First D1 home game at home. You get Bob Morris, who beat the hell out of you last year with that team. It's on campus. So I debated I might go to this game given the slate. So I might pop up at the Crest Center and root on Green Bay. But I took the plus 110 money line, and I took the over 139.5. In this one, I think both teams at least get to 70. And Green Bay wins this like 76-73.
Sky Clark, ice veins.
I can't
2 free throws.
I didn't hear a word TV Jones just said when we came back in action. Everyone else can hear him except me. TV Jones, can you leave and come back? And Toast, what should I write for his pick? I didn't hear a word of that.
Green Bay. He likes Green Bay.
So he is coming around on the coach, and he's pretending not to.
He is. He's not giving them any credit. That's why I thought I was going to argue with him on this one, just because he's been, like he said, the conductor of the Green Bay hate train. But that UMass win was a really good win for them on a neutral. Then they came back and beat a decent Iona team. I think that UMass and Iona are very equal to Robert Morris. I think that all 3 of those teams, UMass, Iona, and Bob Morris, are equally as good as each other. I don't think that any of them are significantly better or worse. And this Green Bay team continues to play well. But if you look at it, that's why I thought I would argue with Trevor, is because Green Bay's played a very, very good schedule. A top 47 or 47 strongest schedule in the country so far. On top of the fact, there's a lot of things here that cancel each other out. Bob Morris is going on the road. They depend a lot on the 3 ball. If that 3 ball's not flying or falling in that gym, they're going to really struggle. On top of the fact, Robert Morris turns the ball over a ton. And if there's one thing that Green Bay doesn't do on offense is turn the ball over. They can't really score, but they sure as hell do not turn the ball over. And when they do shoot, they actually have a decent percentage. So I actually do lean Green Bay as well. I don't know if I can actually stomach them, but it would only be Green Bay for me.
Washington just scored to make it 2, bro.
Stop.
79-81.
They're inbounding the ball down 4 right now. What the hell?
They're going to shoot free throws. All right.
I keep on forgetting you have -2.5.
Yeah, but if you just
knew this would come down to like a 1 or 2.
You just got to make a free throw. You know what?
And a stop.
You want
You're asking college kid to just make a free throw.
No, you want him to make one free throw. If he makes both free throw, they might take an easy 2. But if he makes one free throw, they will attempt the 3. Now they're attempting a 3 either way.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if
they miss both,
or they fouled. Cronin fouled if they're up 3 or more.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say for that,
Cronin respects the game. He won't do that.
Oh no, it's over. It's 81-80. Washington got an and 1, I guess. Washington shooting the free throws. So now you need to hit both free throws, Trevor.
I just don't want overtime. Give me 1
you have
point.
under?
He's going to break the second one on purpose.
No, I have UCLA plus 1.5.
Oh, how did Trevor get such a shitty number?
Because I played it 4 minutes before tip off. I wasn't going to play it, and then I was like, yeah, why not? I'm going to be up. I'll dabble. Yeah, we were only up 20 with 4.5 minutes left. Why would I? Why should I be sweating this game at all?
Why should I be? What I was saying is on that last one, the dramatic 1-8 last year. I was talking shit about Robert Morris. I was like, this team is stupid. This name is stupid. And you guys were like, you don't understand. You don't follow college hoops. Robert Morris is awesome. And then they would be like, oh, and Bob Morris. They would call Bob Morris to like think because they thought it sounded cool. It's like a whole
Bob
thing.
Mo, maybe.
And now they're in a pick'em with Green Bay, who was the worst team ever last year.
Bob Morris was 26-9 last year.
what
They
I'm
lost
saying.
to
They were
Alabama
insane.
in the tournament.
How are they a pick'em against Green Bay?
They lost everybody.
Good right now.
They lost all their big man, that Figueroa, he's in Iowa now, and they lost excuse me, someone else. And then Bob Morris has never really contended in the horizon. Last year they popped off and just ran the horizon back to earth.
I will say, if we are looking at Bob Morris last year, all their losses are on the road. So,
well, they beat Drake on the road.
I
I did call that money line, no big deal.
Last game up, UC Davis, Hawaii. This is a midnight one, so it's a late night.
Trevor, take it away. I have a play on this game, but I don't think we're going to agree because I know you love Hawaii.
Well, I mean, it's tough to not love Hawaii when you got a size advantage inside. UC Davis on the road has been all right. They beat Nevada, not hard, but you lost to Portland, lost to Colorado. Now you're traveling to Hawaii here, and Hawaii has been really good. Their losses are Arizona State by 7 at home, and then they lost by Oregon by 1, which the refs bailed Oregon out for that one. And so now they're here on the island with a giant size advantage inside the paint. It's going to be all Hawaii. This team is really, really good. Like, I can't remember the last time Hawaii had a team this good. Like, I honestly think they're probably going to win the Big West the way things are shaking out right now. Obviously, there's a lot of season left, but given right now what we've seen out of the Big West, Hawaii easily number 1. I just don't see UC Davis getting a whole lot of second chance opportunities here. Oh my God, Dent! You
got hooked, Trevor. They won by 2.
I knew it. I called it before. I called it. I said they're going to win by 2. They
must have missed the free throw because they was 81. They must have missed the free throw to screw you there.
Yep, Donovan Dent. Go figure. That guy misses.
That's not their best player, though.
Isn't that? Yep. Go figure. Well, that's a 6-3 instead of 7-3 day.
Right.
Hawaii.
Happy. Can we just be happy for me for having a 4
We were up 20 with 4 minutes left. What the hell just happened? Oh,
don't bet bad numbers, Trevor.
I know. It's my fault. I said they were going to win by 2, and I bet it. And look at that. It comes down to 2.
You're on Hawaii too, Toast?
No, absolutely not.
I thought you said I agree.
I agree that they're playing much better and they're better than the best team that they've had in a while, but I don't think that they should be laying this number versus UC Davis. I will give you that the size advantage is pretty big for for Hawaii right now, but Colorado had size, Nevada had size. Portland's actually one of the biggest teams in the country as well. So I don't really worry about the size as much. For me, it comes down to, I will give you that Hawaii is probably significantly better offensively. I don't think that I won't argue with that. But at the same time, I don't really think that it's going to matter as much. I mean, we've seen Hawaii blow out some really, really bad teams like North Dakota, which obviously never was in that game. But I mean, Manhattan, they blew that team out, but they played a really close game versus Utah Tech. I mean, my point is that when Oregon was a close game, Arizona State was a good game. I'm not trying to make a case that UC Davis, Arizona State, and Oregon are all the same, but I also don't think that you can be laying this huge number with Hawaii in confidence when this is like one of the better teams that they've played so far this year. They've looked really good against bad competition, but I mean, UC Davis has a little bit of an issue turning the ball over, yes, but at the same time, Hawaii is not really a team that's forcing a whole bunch of turnovers either. So, and Hawaii offensively has had some turnover issues themselves, not to mention the fact that the one thing that, and obviously it's a road game and UC Davis hasn't been great on the road, but I think that the 3 ball comes into a factor. Hawaii can't shoot the 3 ball to save their life. UC Davis can shoot the 3 ball with the best of them. I just feel like this number was a little bit too big. So UC Davis plus 9.5 for me. I wanted to watch this number. I wanted like a full 10 or something, but regardless, I would take the points with UC Davis.
Trevor's on the right side here. Hawaii in the islands, midnight.
I mean, both teams play with a decent amount of pace. It's a low total. Good luck shooting those threes over this tall-ass Hawaii team, and Hawaii allowing 28% from best of luck to you tomorrow.
Normal rims, though.
Normal rims.
Correct.
These are not the Maui rims. These are island rims, but not island rims from the Maui.
Shut the fuck up.
It's true.
It's true. Look at what Texas did. They had 39 points in like 30 minutes.
So you're saying these are a different kind of island rims?
Correct. These are
It's a
regulated
different island in general. It's a different island.
So the iron is only shaped a certain way on one island.
Screwed in tight.
But so if you go to the next island, normal rims.
Yep.
So it differs.
That's salt water coming in from Maui.
everywhere.
I'm just saying. The salt water. There's a little bit more salt in that water, and it kind of eats away the screws, so it loosens up the rims.
There's a little more salt in that water. Everyone, you guys still alive over there, Trev?
No, we ended.
Yeah, it's a short
hour and a half ago. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Hit a Trevor show. I'm sure most of you know already, but if you don't, it's called Pump Fake Pod. Usually starts before this one, and then goes after too. So he's usually going live at like 10:30 somewhere there, PM Eastern time. So type in Pump Fake Pod into the search. They're talking college basketball every night. Yeah, everyone have a good night. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a Thursday night football video up, Cowboys Lions. If you want to go hear me talk about that game, I uploaded a video. It's like 20 minutes long. I just started writing and I just kept going. So kind of.
I was going to say the clip thing was like 4 different lines.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. So what I do is I write an article first, and then I record myself, kind of like reading my own article / just like, and my art. I just wrote like a lot. So yeah, it's kind of a long one, but Cowboys Lions videos up.
I think the trends and stuff people will like that the whole beginning with Dak on the road and Dan Campbell.
I usually do that for the primetime games, make it a little dramatic.
Yeah, that was good.
It doesn't like affect the number or anything, but it's fun.
Yeah, but people like to click and read that stuff.
Yeah. All right, everyone.